In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys how I started my reselling business with just $1,000 in my junior year of high school, and I flipped it to over 100,000 that same year. So starting off, I just started my junior year of high school and I wanted to start a business. I saw a lot of people around me in my life that were starting their own businesses. I also had some older friends that I knew that were starting their own businesses and making money. So it was always something that I wanted to do. I just didn't know where to start. So the first thing I did was I actually bought an Amazon course. I think I paid around 300 bucks for this Amazon course and I got a lot of good value from it. But I quickly realized that you need a bunch of capital to start Amazon. And that's still the case to today. What I even tell my clients, you need a bunch of capital to start it. For me, I had 300 bucks that I spent on this course and I had $1,000, left really. Not much money that I could do and not much profit I could make with only $1,000 getting onto Amazon. And after adding all the expenses and everything that, it takes to start that business, it just didn't make sense. So that was failed business number one. Didn't work out, kind of wasted the money. But again, I did learn some stuff, so I thought it was a little bit worth it. Now, about a month or two later, again, I didn't want to put things off. I wanted to keep researching and get into a business. I saw sneaker reselling and I saw a bunch of stuff and information on Instagram and videos and YouTube. And I was always into sneakers, so it felt like a really good place to start. So first thing I did was I got a mentor. It really helped me out, just learning some of the basics of reselling, just terminology, selling on platforms, just someone that I could actually ask questions to, right? Which is kind of the whole point of the reason I started my even accelerator group, just to help new beginners the same way I needed help when I started out. But anyways, back to the point I was making there. I first started out going to Ross and Marshalls near me. All right. So Ross, if you guys don't know, they're basically just really, really discounted stores. None of the shoes have boxes or anything, but I'd find a lot of really good gems. In fact, one of the shoes that really made me realize you can make a lot of money from reselling, I found a Kith New Balance collab at there. I found two pairs for 25 bucks each, and I sold them both. I want to say I sold one for 275 and the other one I sold for maybe 300, 350. Either way, it was a ton of money for me only paying 25 bucks. So it was awesome. And again, that was a major breakthrough for me because I took 25 bucks on not knowing what I was doing the first month of my business. And I was able to like 7-8x it. It was awesome. And again, that's not something that you really just expect, just starting out. So I kept going to Ross, kept reinvesting that money. Again, I had $1,000, right? And for me, where I was located, the nearest Nike outlet to me was over 4 hours away. So I strictly only did either Ross and Marshalls and Foot Locker and Champs in my local area. And the rest of it, 80%, 90% of it was all online, which is cool. I really enjoy the online part of things because you can do it from anywhere, right? I'm just buying stuff online, shipping it to my house, making money off that, which means anyone watching this video can do it. Whether you're based in the US or not, every country has different things. It's going to work a little bit different, but if you're in the US, that's completely fine. So anyways, I was constantly reinvesting that money, that $1,000, buying shoes online, buying stuff in store, and just continuing to flip it while getting better at my skill. So I was figuring out, hey, what's a better deal? How to save more money here with, Rakuten cashback or this credit card that I didn't have yet, which is the next thing I'm going to get into. And I realized I didn't have a lot of money. So with $1,000, the problem is you're very limited. My average shoe sale, my first 100,000 was $115. So with that being said, I could buy 8, maybe 9 pairs of shoes if I'm lucky. It's very, very difficult to buy shoes when you don't have a lot of money. So I ran into that problem really quick. And that's a capital issue. So if you're starting out with low capital, you should still start this business regardless. Again, I had $1,000. I did a series on Instagram that I'm doing right now, starting with 250 bucks, flipping it to a house. All right. So you can start with any amount. But the key perspective of that is, hey, even with just $1,000, you're going to run out of capital because there's only so many shoes you can buy. And there is a time period that it takes to sell shoes as well. So if I bought a shoe in store, let's say it takes a week for it to sell. That's 7 days since I had that money and I spent it. Then it takes at least another 3 days to maybe even a week to fulfill that order, right? I'm not going to get paid for 10 to potentially even 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks on that, $100 that I spent on that one shoe. So that means I can't use that money for 10 days to 2 weeks. And that's on the low end. That's on the short end of things. So the problem I began to face was I would have money to actually go and buy shoes and I would spend it, but then I didn't have the capability to go and buy more shoes. I had to wait for the current inventory to sell. And that just sucks because I was having to leave deals, right? I give this example, like if I had $100 and $20 here, which one would you rather have? Well, obviously you'd rather have the 100, but it would still be nice to have the $20, right? No one's going to complain about that. So I had to pick and choose which one I wanted. And that sucks because, again, I'd rather have both. So what really helped me out, I'm not recommending you do this. This is just what I did. And you can do it because it can increase your capital really quickly. I got a credit card. So I got my first ever credit card. It was a $3,000 limit credit card. It really helped me out because then I was doing only $4,000 instead of just $1,000. So that 4x my capital. I had way, way, way more money that I can go and buy. I still ran into a capital issue because I would spend money like crazy on shoes. I still do. But eventually over time, you can get more cards, you can increase your limit so you don't run into that issue. So 3 months go by. I had now done my first $10,000 in profit, which was huge because I just started with 1,000, right? And I remember this point because I had 16,000 in my bank account and I go and get a new bank account, right? With that same money. And 2 months later, because I didn't check my bank really often, but 2 months later, I'd go and check it. And my account was at the same amount or similar number. It was at 16,000. I go, what happened? But I realized over that course of time, my inventory had grown from 100 pairs up to 300. So all I was doing was just continuing to reinvest that money over and over again, right? And that took about 2 months. But with 300 pairs, guess what? I had 3 times as many shoes for sale. So I made a lot more money. The key there is just continuing to reinvest your profits. Don't take them out. Don't do anything else with them. Just continue to reinvest them over and over again, because that's where you're going to see the biggest growth overall. Again, about 3 months in, I started to really go in store. So again, the nearest Nike outlet to me was 4 hours away. I would go on these huge routes, about 8 hours driving. It would be the furthest part I'd be away from home. So they'd be 20+ hour trips, just in between hitting multiple stores. But I'd come home with 50 up to 90 pairs sometimes. And it was crazy. And it was awesome because I'd go make 3, 4, 5 grand on these trips, come home after a 1 or 2 day trip, and I'm like, that's all the work I would need to do that month. But I was super hungry, so I would be doing this stuff, twice a month, sometimes even back-to-back weeks where I'm going on these huge drive trips, and it was awesome. I had a lot of fun doing it. However, it can get a little bit annoying doing that all the time. So sometimes I would switch it to every other week to sometimes just once a month. But I was always constantly buying online shoes between then, like always, because you can do that anytime. And then eventually I hit my first $10,000 profit month, right? Not just $10,000 in profit, but $10,000 profit month. And by then I had hit my first $100,000 in sales, which was awesome. It was about 6 months in my reselling journey, if I remember correctly. And then 2 months later, I actually hit my first 200,000. So that was really awesome. So literally from 6 months, it took me to hit 100K. And then 2 months after that, it took me, to hit my next 100K in sales. So it was really quick. And I think I did it really quick for, the skill level and the information that I had. Again, I was still like 17. So I felt like it was pretty awesome. And it was pretty awesome because I was making more money than my teachers. And then, with that being said, now the information I have, if I knew what I knew now back then, I would have made so much more money because I have more information, right? So the key thing for me is I was constantly reinvesting. And that's what really helped me scale. There's no secret like formula or anything like that. It's actually just doing the reps, right? Whether you start a window cleaning business or a car detailing business, it doesn't really matter. You just clean more windows than everyone else. You clean more cars than anyone else. You make more money. It's really that simple. So you sell more shoes than anyone else. You end up making more money. And that's really where I found leverage, is because I realized I don't care about the BS. I don't care about the hype. I just want to make money on these shoes and enjoy the ones that I like. And that's what I did. And I just started doing it more and more in bulk. And then eventually, when you have this money, now that you have cash flow, you have extra cash and savings and reserve, then you can go and deploy it on other skills and unlock other skills and save more time. And I think the reason in the moment I realized that I kind of made it and not that I was like on the right track was one of my friends, super cool guy. He had been working at Chick-fil-A, and again, good guy, super committed, everything. Worked at Chick-fil-A part-time for a year. And we're having the conversation. He's like, how much have you made from reselling? And I'm like, at that point, and again, this was before I did all this stuff, but this is when I first realized I had kind of made it. I was like, yeah, I did 30,000 in sales last month. And he's like, 30,000? It's like, I only made 15,000 this last year. I was working at Chick-fil-A. And the look on his face was like, this guy works his ass off at Chick-fil-A in the drive-thru, in the kitchen, whatever it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not an easy job in my opinion. And I'm flipping shoes and I'm making more money in a month than he was potentially in, his whole year of working there. And it was just like, he was mind blown by it. But again, that's leverage. That's where you can grow. All right. And I thought that was like, okay, this is cool. So yeah, then it continued to scale. At that point, I launched my coaching program because I had around 10, 20,000 followers on Instagram, and people were just basically, I don't want to say begging, but they're asking me, hey, Caden, teach me this. I want to learn this skill, because I would just post what I was doing and still do what I do now. And I had a ton of people asking me. So I launched the coaching program. I launched ARCP, Advanced Reselling Coaching Program. To this day, we've worked with 700 clients one-on-one. That's the only way to directly work with me one-on-one. It's my one-on-one coaching program. And yeah, it's awesome. I love working with people one-on-one. Again, we still do it. And it's one of my most enjoyable things that I do. And on top of that, we recently rolled out our accelerator group. So our accelerator group, I was talking about earlier on this call, is designed for brand new resellers who are just getting started, who want to make their first $500 in profit. So in that accelerator group, the average client that we had in our first cohort did $2,000 in sales, did 20 pairs sold, and did $600 in profit, which is pretty sweet. And on top of that, in that accelerator group, if any of you guys are interested, you can go down to the link in the description down below and you can sign up and you can see everything else that you're going to be getting included with it. But we have a full refund, zero risk guarantee. So if you don't make your money back on the accelerator in your first month, you get a full refund. No questions asked. You get a full refund. It's pretty sweet. So there's really zero risk, which is exactly what I wanted when I started out. Because again, I told you earlier on this video, when I spent $300 on a course, and I spent a bunch of other money on just more information products, it was scary because I didn't have that much money. I had $1,000. I go spend $300 on a course. That's 30% of my money, all of my capital, right? And obviously, the accelerator is less money than that, but still, it was still a lot, and it felt like a big risk, and I didn't have a guarantee. So that kind of held me back from getting started. There's really no reason, if any of you guys are serious about reselling, why you wouldn't take action on that. Because again, if you don't make your money back, you get a full refund. And best case scenario, guess what? You end up making your money back, and now you have a skill that's going to make you way more than what the accelerator even costs per month. So again, if any of you guys are interested in that, you can check it in the link in the bio down below. And on top of that, 30%, yes, 30 people that actually join my accelerator end up joining my coaching program within the first 3 months. So that's something that you guys want to do. You want to work with me one-on-one, but you're not quite there yet. You're not quite ready to scale. This is a perfect place for you to start. Perfect place for you to get to $500,000, maybe even $1,500 a month in profit, and then you're ready to scale. Boom, we would love to help you out and take you to the next level. And again, that's the reason we kind of designed that and made that program. So that's pretty much my story. And ever since then, I've just continued to reinvest, and I learn new skills and I get into new areas. So, hey, when you start getting more capital, now I bought a house, right? Maybe I go look for more houses and more investment properties, whatever that skill is. I'm not really skilled in real estate. I'm skilled in business. So for me, I like to reinvest into my business and just reinvest more into my brand and my persona, whatever it is. For you, you might already be really skilled and valuable at real estate. Guess what? You take this business, you make money, go buy an investment property because that's what you're skilled in, right? Take whatever information and knowledge that you have and use it to your advantage. And I like to use reselling as, again, the cash flow pipeline. You make a bunch of money from this, you spit it out in these other businesses, and then those businesses make you money, right? But whatever you know, invest in what you know. Don't invest in what you don't know. I'm not too crazy familiar with real estate. I don't know it enough. Do I want to learn it? Of course. But I'm not familiar enough to fix it and flip it and whatever it is. So I'm not going to get into it until I feel comfortable, until I learn, then I'll take that step. But yeah, that's pretty much my story. And I plan on doing this, continuing to scale, continuing to get other businesses and opportunities as well. I have a lot of fun with what I do. It doesn't really feel like work. And again, I enjoy doing it. It feels awesome. Grinding and working for yourself every day. There's no better feeling, believe me. So if any of you guys have any other questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram. But that's pretty much my story. Again, from the start, just with $1,000, I just reinvested everything. That's my biggest tip. Reinvest as much as possible. Continue to reinvest. Don't take anything out even when you feel like it. And eventually you'll know when to take money out, because by then you have so much in your account that you can't even spend it on inventory even if you wanted to. All right. So thank you guys for watching this video. Have a good rest of your week and stay blessed.